Yeah, so I've been seeing a lot of people talking about expectations and everything. I think I've said this, I've maintained this, regardless of how much money we paid, the player itself, the name, Florian Wirtz brings a lot of expectations. Like, we're not getting no bum. We're getting one of the best players in the world, one of the best creators in the world, one of the best youngsters in the world that will hopefully be here for about minimum 5 to 6 years. Like, I don't I don't understand why, because of the price tag, there should be a level of expectation. The level of expectations were already set when we had talks with Wirtz in the first place. You know, we saw what he did with Leverkusen, back to back 30 GA in all comps from last season and the season before. Came back from an ACL and still put up about 20 GA in all comps as well. Like, the quality of the player is everyone can see how good this player is. And look, all this expectation stuff, rivals are scared. And I love it. I love every single minute of it. I could see City fans crying about, oh, they spend money and no one's really talking about it. You're scared. I know he rejected you guys. It's okay. People can be rejected. I know firsthand. About rejection. Yeah. But at this time, give us our props. We're showing ambition, as some people like to call out. And now we've got one of the best young players in the world. And look, in terms of expectations, I'm not afraid to say it. Minimum expectation is definitely winning the Premier League again, and also going far in the Champions League, and also hopefully winning a domestic cup. We should
Okay,
be going for every
in
single competition.
individually though, what do you put on him from an outputs point of view? What would you expect? And one thing I would say to you, where you saying why is the money making a difference? You have come on here multiple times when United spent money on Pogba, when Man United spent money on Maguire, when Man United spent money on Anthony, when United spent money on Sancho. You have come on and said, for that money, we expect this. You said it about Declan Rice. You said it about Grealish. What you now can't do is say, well, why does the money matter when you have spent over half a decade putting additional pressure on rivals players because the money was big?
I'm the pressure should already be there regardless of the price, because of how good the quality of player is. If a player is not good, then I won't put a lot of pressure on them. This guy's one of the best in the world, so I'm not gonna ask him to get 10 GA in all comps in the first season. Like,
what do you think? What would you look at and go, that is a good return for a 150 million euro player?
well, 150 million euros over the 5 years. So in that time period,
What's the base rate though? What's the base fee that you're paying for him? 127, we've heard, right?
yeah, around about, I think 118, 120, I
Okay,
believe.
so let's say 118. We'll go down to the lowest figure. What do you expect year on year? Not Don't amortize it now. What do you expect delivery wise every year for the best? You know, as Tom said, the best number 10 in the world. What do you expect minimum expectations as an output level across all
As in,
comps?
if you want to go solely on GA, then minimum, I think first season minimum's got to be 20 to 25 in all comps, and then after that, around about
20 to
30 to 35.
25
Yeah,
for
20
the
to
bet.
25 in his first season,
Why so low?
and then after that, it would be 30 to 35. After that, I got to be realistic, innit? Because Salah's still going to be the main guy, and then once Salah's gone,
But he's
then
not
he'll
coming
be
in
the
to
main
take
guy.
goals off Salah. He's coming in to add more goals and add more assists.
Yeah, but still, everything won't still go through him though. It'll still go through Salah. Salah's still going to put. I still believe Salah will put up around about high 30s to early 40s in terms of GA.
Yeah, but hang on. Darwin Núñez should have scored 20 league goals this year, but he missed his chances. He did not have chances because Salah was scoring. Wirtz is going to have 20 GA. You do realize that Garnacho just did that in a shit United team?
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Garnacho this season. This is what I'm saying. I'm just, and by the way, GA is not the only measurement. You are right, like influential in winning trophies and everything else. I agree with all of that. But Alejandro Garnacho this season in all comps got 21 GA. So you can't sit there and spend 100+ million on a player and go, it's okay to have the same output as Garnacho.
But then it's a weird one, because if you tell me about 80 or 90% of those are match winning GA, then it paints a completely different story. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, for me, it's all about influence on the team. If you're influencing a lot and you're making us win trophies, that should be the level.
I never want to hear you in a Gerrard Scholes debate again bring up Gerrard got more goals than Scholes.
I know,
You can't
but you
do
know
that
me, I
now.
never do that.
I'm just putting it out there. You
I
got to
never
remember
do that, Terry.
I
Don't
think what
do
you're
that.
doing here.
Terry, you know me. I don't
I
do
think
that.
you know. Listen, I think this is a fantastic signing. I'm not playing it down. You came on and mentioned I didn't even bring expectations up. You did it on your call. You can't be saying 20 GA, bruv.
Why not? If it's match winning and it leads to us winning a trophy, well, major trophy. I don't want to say trophy. I don't want to say. I say Premier League. Then of course. Like Terry, I'd rather. How many times do we celebrate the likes of Didier Drogba because of the amount of goals he scores in big moments?
But he wasn't. He didn't cost the amount of money. I want to give you an example. Rasmus Højlund got 14 GA this season. Last season, Rasmus Højlund, right? And I'm giving you an example of someone who's really, really, really bad, right? I'm waiting for it to load. Last season, I think he got like 18, 19. I just don't. Last season, he got 18. Come on. You have got to put the expectations a little bit higher than Rasmus Højlund and Garnacho's return.
Well, it depends on how we're going to play him. If we end up playing 8 or double 8, then yeah. But again, I'd rather him get 20 GA. That means more in terms of match winning plays rather than 30 GA. That's like majority of them are all dead rubber GA. That means nothing. Do you get what I mean?
Kinda. I think you should be putting bigger expectations on him, though. Ram, listen, do you expect any more signings now?
Well, Kirkes is done, isn't it?
Kirkes is done. Frimpong.
Yeah.
What else? You expecting more?
Personally, for me, I still think a striker. We will bring in a striker. I think, and I think a DM. If we get those two, then the expectation should be minimum double. As in like the major double, as in Premier League, Champions League double, minimum. If you get treble, great. But minimum double. Because if you're gonna spend that much money, you gotta get the two big boys. You gotta get the two big boys as well. And so if we get a top class striker, top class DM, why not? Why not?
There we go, mate. Listen, Ram, top man for coming on. Appreciate it, bruv. Speak to you again soon, my G. Cheers, mate. Stroh's on the show now. 20 GA, bruv. 20 GA. Mate, it's a massive signing for your football club. What's your initial thoughts?
It's huge. Like, we spoke over the years numbers of times in terms of I've been frustrated because Liverpool are a massive, massive football club. They're a massive institution, and what it does to start acting like it. This is a very unlike Liverpool window. Frimpong done early, Wirtz, which is a club record transfer, which is massive, especially when you look at the player and the profile. And Kirkes is next. I expect that to be announced tomorrow, Thursday. No, this is huge. This is big because this is future proofing for when Salah goes, which I love. So yeah, this is a massive deal for Liverpool and Liverpool fans.
Yeah, no, it is. As you say, I think it is part of future proofing, which is a very important component of this summer. But it's the statement of intent as well, and I think it's Liverpool moving into look. You spent big many times before. I've seen it throughout the 90s and the noughties. We saw it with Van Dijk and with Alisson, but you had that period, sort of 2020, 21, 22, where you probably should have spent and you didn't. You held back for one reason or another, and you didn't win a league title after that. You didn't win a Champions League after that, and you need to make these moves. And you've beaten Bayern Munich to a German poster boy. You've beaten Man City to him as well, and both those clubs moved to him ever before they thought about going towards the likes of Cherki. As great as Cherki is, so it's a massive coup. It shows Liverpool have that pull, but I think it's a great show of intent by the manager, by the owners, by Edwards and everybody involved. And as a rival, I'm annoyed, but I can only respect the intent and the execution.
Yeah, because it's like I remember being on the show many years ago, and we just won the league. Oh no, we just won the Champions League, shall I say? And we signed Adrian on a free. We paid compensation for Harvey Elliott, and we didn't buy anyone else.
Mm.
And it's like my frustrating thing is, and you, I seen Gerard come out with a quote, and I thought the quote was absolutely perfect. Like, you fix the roof when it's sunny, not when it's raining. It's like you need to make sure that when you're on top, you stay on top and you're building. And this is something from my childhood and teenage years. I watched Sir Alex Ferguson do better than anyone I've seen, to be honest, in terms of he would always manage to pick a player that would get him over the line. I always look back at Van Persie. He needed that profile. He went and got Van Persie, and it was high profile. That won him the league. He pulled Berbatov from Tottenham because he needed that kind of profile to fit in with the front four that you had at the time. And this is one of them where this is a big statement for us, because, like you said, I have seen us spend in terms of, obviously everyone looks at Alisson and Van Dijk, but obviously that came from the Coutinho transfer, whereas there's not that lingering over us now. This is a massive statement of intent in terms of the fact that we're willing to go and mix it with the big boys, the fact that we're willing to go and break the record in terms of our transferring, and know there's potentially another massive transfer on the way. Well, if it happens or not, it's a completely different story. But
Well, that's also it, isn't it? You know, there is potentially money left now to go and buy a striker still, because you didn't spend last year, which could be gargantuan, mate. But Stro, always a pleasure, mate, to sit here and speak football with you, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon, my G.
always, brother.
Top
Right,
man.
peace.
Speak to you again soon. Thank you very much.